Welcome back, viewers. We didn't quite finish off with that, and Helen, I will come back to you.
Okay.
I've got another question I want to ask Mr. Mohammed Shah. The Bangladeshi community, the catering hospitality, is our main industry. However, the industry is facing a very difficult time, many challenges. Most Indian restaurants and takeaways are struggling at the moment, as we know. To face this challenge, what is your advice as an IT professional?
Before I thank you anyway, this is such a vital question you ask. Before I say anything about what we could do, I would like to give you statistics. What's happening in the world, which we don't understand. According to the World Internet Stat, they do a survey. More than 3 billion people are using internet in the worldwide. And in 2000, the amount of people using the internet in 2015, it increased to 753%.
Wow.
If we talk about only Europe, in Europe the population is 827 million people. Among them, internet user is 105 million people. The users between 2015 is increased to 452.2%. So if you see these statistics, how the big number of people moving to internet. According to the last year Christmas sale, more than 50% people spend their money online, and only 50% people, less than 50% people, they physically visited a place to buy something or the phone and get the delivery from somewhere. But more than 50% people, they spend their money to buy any product online.
Yeah.
What's happening today in our trade?
We do that. We all do that, don't we? I mean,
Yes, but what's happening in our trade, in Indian restaurants and takeaways, especially the catering industry? I would say more than 50% restaurants and takeaway, they don't have even a website to see their menu online. And what does it mean? Then they're losing this potential 50% customers who could go and see their menu and place the order. But because they are not online, people can see them online, so they're missing them. They're only playing with these 50% people, less than 50% people who are physically coming, pick up a menu and look at it and place the order over the phone, or they can physically come in. But the mass amount of potential customers they're losing. So I would say, to actually overcome this situation, first of all, if you can't afford a big website, online ordering system where people can place order online, book your table online, at least make a basic website, put your menu there, let the people see the menu when they need it. Yeah. And this way, I think at least we are actually covered the 100% customers who can come and enjoy our service.
Yeah.
I think, if I may, can I just come in on something?
Please.
I think it's a very valid point that you've made, and I think that there's a number of things that could really improve, and I think that to clarify the brand would be, and to make stronger brands. I mean, we know what Indian food is, and we love Indian food in this country, but the brand is not clear. So clarifying the brand, perhaps the community coming together to build a brand that can be shared, can be licensed, perhaps could be franchised, to get the infrastructure in place, and to engage with people in their modern buying habits, as you say, through conversation and through buying on the internet. Look at the likes of Domino's. They don't call people into the restaurant. People order online and the food arrives on their doorsteps.
And they're busy.
Right.
Domino's, they're very busy.
I mean, in the old days, you know, when people used to move into new homes, they used to get the old directory out and find a restaurant. And
those days are gone.
Just get your phone out from your pocket, Google, closest Indian restaurant. So it is important. I think that's a very valid point. Thank you. You mentioned about e-marketing while we were on break. What did you mean by e-marketing? So I think we can get this information across to our viewers.
It is, thank you. It is another important issue actually nowadays. Again, as a community, we are behind in these things. E-marketing is, there is a statement that came in my head right now actually. It's from Pepper and Rogers Group from America. This is one of the biggest business consultants in America. What they say is, email marketing is the future of the wave of the future is fast and cost effective. And email marketing has to be integrated with your media and advertising plan. Everybody knows email, what the email is. Now, email marketing is a very effective and easy method to actually brand, publish your brand or branded your product. And it works 24/7. When you look at this situation today, yeah, if any leaflet comes to the door, do you read it?
No,
very unlikely.
When
When a leaflet comes to the door, very unlikely we can pick it up and look at the leaflets. We just pick it up and this is a very likely situation. But when any inbox come, any email come to in my inbox, I make sure I open it, and if I open it, purpose is fulfilled, because my purpose sending an email or a leaflet to a person to show him my brand, show him my name. So when I doing the email marketing, my purpose somehow it is fulfilling my purpose, and it's very easy, cost effective, and it works 24/7. And the easiest way you can move your information, move your name to thousands, millions of people is for this time. Communication is instantaneous nowadays. Without delay, you can move a huge amount of information from one place to another place.
I think certainly in our business, we found things like, social media, so Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn. It's reaching people when they're at work, and when they're in that mindset. So they're not, like you say, having to go home and sift through the junk mail, putting it all out in the recycling bin. If you're getting posts through on your smartphone for Facebook and on LinkedIn, it's far more relevant to you at that moment in time.
Yeah, I think understanding customer profiles, thinking who's the customer and how are they shopping today, perhaps rather than what is the business and what do we want to sell. Who are our clients and how do they want to buy?
What would they like?
Exactly.
But you say email, there are drawbacks. I get a lot of emails in my inbox. A lot of the time I don't open them. I put in my junk mail, I block them. Now, just like if you post leaflets through people's letterboxes, they chuck them in the bin. You've got to target it. You can't just randomly and it's got to be done in a very clever way. So, for example, it's got to be something that interests you, or you've got to send it to your target audience with some kind of newsletter, because the amount of Nigerian emails I get for asking for money, or from
you win something.
Yeah,
A long-lost relative has passed away, and
I've got it from the United Nations,
And that's where social media comes in.
it does. You can target very
building
well.
trust
So
with
you've got to be
your
very
people.
careful as well, because you could alienate your customer base by sending them unnecessary emails. So people think email is chaos and it doesn't really harm. It does actually, because you then could be destroying your own brand. So yes, technology, and therefore you need the technicians to come in and assist you in how to target it. You need the branding people to assist you. And there are also legal implications of sending emails to people unsolicited. So again, these are things that
This actually, I think every business has their focus customers.
Yeah.
Who are their focus customers? Who are going to the search? Because not everybody is customers for everybody. Yeah. And every business have their own customer database. So when you are emailing to from the database, you are emailing the people. And obviously there is so many ways you can collect the data. And there is a ways you can actually overcome these filters. Yeah.
But also there are security problems in there, because I know recently, about 3 weeks ago, a solicitor's firm's email was hacked into, and an email was sent from their server to another company asking for the money to be transferred to a particular account. So it's all very well having technology, but you also have to have the safeguards. You need a computer expert to go in, assist your firewalls, because there are legal implications. Not only legal implications, you could destroy your business. Because if somebody said, I think
Yes.
you'd accept that.
Hacking is a common issue.
No, well, it may be a common
Yes.
issue, but just like you would have a 5-lever lock fitted on your office door in order to prevent, but you need the same kind of systems
Yes, of course, yes,
in
yes.
your computer system. And if you're going to be, look, at the end of the day, if the water is gushing out, you cannot stop it.
Yes.
Yeah, and whether you like it or not, people spend, yesterday I read that people spend more time on their phones than on their laptops or the TVs.
Yes.
Yeah, and so yes, the phones and the iPhones and your smartphones are the way to market your business.
Yes.
But again, you have to be very careful from that point of view.
Clearly, an integrated approach is required, which is what
one
we.
of the things I can gather from here is that you need to filter your data,
Yes.
find out who your right client,
Focus your right
is,
client.
so you're focusing on that. And how about the subject line on the email? That's
Yes.
quite important as
Yes.
well, isn't it?
Yes.
That is what makes and breaks of opening
Yes.
the email, because otherwise a lot of people think, oh, this is a spam.
No, you don't smoke it, and it's a waste then, and not only that, it damages your brand. I think personally. Yeah.
Okay, I think that was interesting.
Controversial.
All got involved there, so that's nice. I'm going to come back to Helen. Helen, property investment, many people are interested in it, and in my point of view, it's quite expensive, isn't it? You need at least 30% deposit.
I think that's a
Average-
misconception.
Average home is
that
about
people
200,000.
and probably rising. You know, if you certainly look at central London, I think you'd be quite lucky to get a property for that price. And you are right, to purchase in the traditional way, you do need a 25% to 30% deposit. But by getting involved with an organisation such as ourselves, we're not teaching you to buy in the traditional way. We're teaching you to go out and source properties that are below market value, and we introduce you to our panel of experts, so different lenders, different solicitors, different brokers, that are able to structure deals in a way that significantly reduces the amount of deposit that you need to put in. We're able to structure some of our deals with as little as 15% deposit. Now, the group of us were talking before we came onto the programme about different funding capabilities that are out there at the moment. And actually, in some circumstances, that 15% deposit can be reduced even further. I think what it takes is to actually look at each person as an individual, rather than having a one-size-fits-all investment strategy. We at Property Investment Wizard like to speak to you on an individual basis and understand what it is that you want to achieve, and look at actually the best form of investment for yourself.
How do you communicate those? How do you bring people together in order to structure those deals? That's a very interesting way of building
It is,
building
and I
a
think
portfolio.
when people go into property investment, they don't always see it as a business. People sort of see it perhaps as a get-rich-quick scheme or a hobby, and in actual fact it is a business. You're investing large amounts of money, and you're also investing large amounts of your own time. So what we do with people is people go on an initial training. So everybody needs to know the basics and have a sort of level playing field. But then what we would do is we'd sit with you as an individual, and we'd understand perhaps what your income is, what it is you want to achieve. If you've got a family perhaps that you would want to leave your properties and your income for, which would be different from somebody else perhaps like myself, who is purely doing it for my own benefit. And then we can put you in touch with sources to match properties with your individual needs. Rather than just having a one-size-fits-all and hoping for the best, we'd rather have a much more strategic approach to investment.
Thank you.
Okay. Unfortunately, we are running out of time very soon. It's coming to the end of the show. I cannot wait to discuss further. Who's going to be coming onto our future show? Would it be yourself or Matthew?
Well, Matthew, who is the CEO of the company, is currently in much sunnier climates in England. He's currently abroad looking at investment properties for some of our clients. But he has rest assured that he will be back for the next show. So you'd be able to speak with Matthew himself, who has got over 31 years of experience investing in property. So I'm pretty confident that any questions you've got, he'd be able to come up with the answers.
Okay, here you go, ladies and gentlemen. We've got the Harry Potter of property investment coming. So that's good news. That's good news. How did you get involved in the property market other than being involved with Matthew and Matthew helping you out, did you have properties before then?
I didn't. Well, I bought my own property when I was 18 years old. You know, I was very lucky. I'd got parents who were able to help me out. But I never saw it as an investment. I'm very pleased to say that I still have that property now. But for me, I perhaps came about it from the other way. I came about it from a letting agent's point of view. So I was aware of perhaps some of the difficulties and some of the structures that need to be in place to make it a successful business.
Okay. One question, is the property investment market changing?
Every day, without question. I think you look at the last election and you see the government is taking a huge interest in anybody with a buy-to-let investment portfolio.
Okay. I'm going to stop you there.
No worries.
We're actually going to finish now. Dear viewers, we're coming to the end of the show, and I want to thank you for watching, and thank you our advisors as well. Well, thank you. I want to extend my thank you to one other person who's worked tirelessly to put this program together. Business Today has been put together and worked really hard by Fasru Ahmed Chaudhry, who is the head of marketing for NTV for the Northwest Midlands. Thank you, Fasru, for helping us out. I would like to also remind you that you need to tune in on the 27th of September and at 5 p.m. and we will be having a really interesting, incredible success story that we want to portray to you. So please do tune in, and we'll be meeting Matthew, obviously, our property wizard. Viewers, don't forget, do visit our website, which is www.businesstodayshow.co.uk. I'll repeat, www.businesstodayshow.co.uk. And if you want to email any suggestions, any queries, then please do at businesstoday@ntveurope.net. That's businesstoday@ntveurope.net. For now, I'm going to have to say, until next time, remember, tomorrow's business is business today.